800 passengers on one massive wing. China is testing a radical passenger aircraft concept that could carry more people than today's biggest commercial jets. China's innovative flying wing design could challenge the conventional aircraft layouts used by Boeing and Airbus, opening a completely different path for future passenger aviation. Could Xi Jinping's next aviation gamble test U.S. dominance in the skies as China pushes an unconventional aircraft design with enormous capacity and potentially greater efficiency? China is not only challenging the U.S. in military aviation and advanced fighters, but is also pushing into the passenger aircraft race with a bold new design that could reshape commercial aviation. China is testing a radical passenger aircraft design that could carry more than 800 people, potentially creating a new challenge to the conventional aircraft designs dominating global aviation. The China Aerodynamics Research and Development Center, or CARDC, has reportedly begun testing a scale model as researchers assess the feasibility of this highly unconventional aircraft concept. The design abandons the traditional tube-and wing layout used by Boeing and Airbus, instead adopting a giant lifting wing configuration that could dramatically change how large passenger aircraft are designed. At around 85 meters wide, the proposed aircraft would have a wingspan roughly 1.6 times that of the B-2 bomber, making its overall width extraordinary for a passenger aircraft. The concept stretches about 43 meters from nose to tail, putting its unusual dimensions far beyond the proportions of most passenger jets currently operating around the world. The Airbus A380 typically carries around 555 passengers, meaning the proposed Chinese aircraft could accommodate hundreds more passengers if its projected capacity of more than 800 is achieved. Analysts say the flying wing design could potentially improve lift-to-drag efficiency on long flights, offering greater aerodynamic efficiency compared with conventional aircraft configurations. The concept is targeting a cruising speed of around Mach 0.8, putting its expected performance broadly in line with modern wide-body passenger jets despite its radically different shape. CARDC initially studied the design for an aircraft carrying around 250 passengers before significantly scaling up the concept to explore a much larger passenger-carrying configuration. For now, the project remains a research program, with no full-scale prototype announced, meaning the aircraft is still far from entering commercial service. The project adds to China's growing ambitions in large passenger aircraft and advanced aviation technology as Beijing works to build greater independence in the global aerospace industry. China is also developing the C929 wide-body passenger aircraft while exploring other next-generation passenger designs, pointing to a broader push to compete with established Western aviation giants. Drawing lessons from Iran's war against the US, China is boosting its own stealth technologies to counter advanced aircraft. China is now reportedly testing simpler ways to detect, track and shoot down stealth jets, potentially challenging their battlefield advantage. Primarily aimed at American fighters, China is combining manpads with air defense missiles to create layered threats. Chinese state media claimed PLA teams coordinated fire against simulated stealth targets during military exercises designed to test detection. China reportedly used man-portable air defense systems alongside HQ-16 missiles in coordinated firing drills. Chinese media alleged that manpads can exploit infrared signatures that stealth aircraft cannot completely hide from detection. A PLA drill reportedly used manpads to target low-signature aircraft during nighttime firing exercises designed to test the tactic. Unlike radar-guided systems, infrared missiles track heat generated by aircraft engines and airframes, offering another detection method. The systems reportedly had to be fired almost simultaneously to prevent one missile from tracking another during the coordinated engagement. The tactic would require precise coordination because manpads have a much shorter range compared with conventional air defense systems. Chinese experts claimed she is exploring lower-cost weapons against high-value stealth targets, potentially creating an asymmetric threat. Experts alleged manpads could work alongside radars, data links, and multiple sensors to improve detection of difficult-to-track aircraft. Beijing has also invested in low-frequency radars and multistatic detection systems designed to strengthen its broader counter-stealth capabilities. China's anti-stealth strategy is reportedly far broader than portable infrared missiles, combining multiple sensors and weapons into a layered network. China's sixth-generation fighter has now shown off unprecedented maneuvers in new footage, offering another glimpse of a large tailless aircraft still under flight testing. The footage showed the Chengdu-developed aircraft executing a complex high-alpha move, moving through an extreme nose-up attitude before a sharp descent and recovery. The aircraft enters high-alpha flight at a demanding angle of attack, where airflow over its wings and control surfaces becomes far less stable and predictable. It then pitches over rapidly before entering a steep descent, requiring the flight control system to manage a sudden and dramatic shift in aircraft attitude. The jet transitions from high-alpha flight into a near-vertical dive, a move that can rapidly increase speed while reducing the pilot's margin for error. It performs a sharp recovery while maintaining aircraft control, avoiding an aerodynamic stall or loss of stability as forces rise during the pullout. The aircraft must rapidly manage changing airspeed and energy, preventing it from gaining too much speed in the dive or losing too much for recovery. It continues climbing immediately after recovering from the dive, showing that it retained enough energy, thrust, and control authority to regain altitude. However, recovering from the steep dive may be the most demanding phase of the entire maneuver, because the aircraft must regain control under rapidly increasing aerodynamic pressure. The flight control system must manage rapidly changing angles of attack, shifting the jet from an extreme nose-up condition into a steep descent and controlled recovery. It must maintain control as airflow becomes less predictable, particularly around a tailless airframe that lacks conventional horizontal and vertical stabilizers. The aircraft has to control rapidly changing airspeed during the dive, preventing excessive acceleration that could strain the airframe or complicate the recovery. It must withstand potentially high G-loads during recovery, as the jet pulls out of the dive and rapidly redirects its flight path upward. The maneuver must remain within aerodynamic and structural limits, ensuring high loads and unstable airflow do not damage the aircraft or cause a loss of control. The jet also has to preserve enough energy to climb after recovery, demonstrating that the dive and pullout did not exhaust its available performance margin. The maneuvers are even more striking given the fighter's unusual size and tailless design, a configuration that can aid stealth but creates serious control challenges.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.